This I don't know what it is, but not you do that today. But today, this is a thinking class, and today we're talking about. Here we go. We live and direct into live. Let's get it going. Not sure what's going on with the net, but I think it's because of the storm. Good to see you, William, in a place to be. Good to see you. Let me turn this up a little bit. Man, today we are talking about stop complaining and go, and so many words, have your own. But I realize I got to talk about this because I think of the reason there's no one complains for no reason. And I think I need to dive a little bit deeper into why, say, particularly men or people are complaining. And there's a reason why. And when you understand the reason why someone complains, there's something that is not, there's a need that's not being met. There's something that's causing them to wake up at night and realize everything is not the way they think it should. So there's a reason why someone will complain, why they will be disgruntled. What's going on, John the Dove? Just thinking about you, bro. There's a reason why that someone will complain about the state of what women are going, why men are complaining about the state of what women are. There's a reason why you complain about situations that you feel that you don't have control of. There's a reason why, because on some level, something is not being met and it's bothering you. You don't complain for no reason. While there are some people who complain for no reason, but you don't complain without realizing that something that is keeping you up at night, something that's caused you to think, I don't have control over my life, so I need to voice it or vent it out so that someone can hear it. And what happens is we don't realize that the complaining. There's a reason why they have. What's going on? New job, new schedule, so I'll be checking in when I can. Good, I appreciate it. Congratulations on the new job. So I want you to realize no one complains for yeah, I know I'm freezing. I don't know what it is. Something is connected or whatever the case may be. Let me check this out once. But there's a reason why someone will complain. And I think what happens is because something is not being, let me check something right quick. 1 second. Let me check one thing. Everything is plugged up. I'm not sure what's jumping off, but something is jumping off. Everything is plugged in. Got to be the internet. Why it's freezing like that? But let's go back to what we were talking about. 1, 2. Here we go. So this is what I want you to really get. Greeting, what's going on? So I want you to really get this. The reason why someone will complain is because they are not getting their needs met on some level. And they think by voicing it in a framework of complaining that is going to help it without first looking inside and saying, what in me is not getting met? Where am I not satisfied? Where am I not pleased? Or am I projecting this on situations on the outside of me and not going on the inside and say, what in me is bothering me? Let me say that again. What's going on, Joe Blast? What's going on, Asian? What in me is bothering me? If you can at least hear me, put a number 1 in the chat room. Might be the storms. That might be it. Put a number 1 in the chat room. You can hear me. Keeps dropping off. There it is. Put a 1 in the chat room. You can at least say, I can hear you, LDA. So I can go and say this and I can roll out. Roll out. Put a 1 in the chat room. Keeps buffering and stopping. It got to be because of the storms. There we go. Let's get this back going. There we go. So I want you to really get this. Many times it's because something, self-reflection and over-projection. Thank you. Thank you so much, William. There it is. So what happens is the reason why we're complaining about something is not because of something on the outside of us. It's because of something on the inside of us that's not being met. Something that's keeping us up at night. Something that we are not satisfied within ourselves that's bothering us. And get to freezing. So it could be something else that is actually, let me do this. Maybe this will help. Let me turn this on. Maybe that'll help. Boom. That is causing us to complain. So when we hear the complaints from the women, when we hear the complaints from the men, we got to really look a little bit deeper and say, what is it in me that's not being satisfied that I need to voice it out in words and in attitude and in disdain that's bothering me? Let me see, what did you say? Accountability of self is always necessary, but a lot of times neglected, right? And what happens is a lot of people go through life and never look in the mirror of accountability and say, wait a minute, The reason why I'm complaining has nothing to do with what's going on the outside of me. It has everything to do on what's going on the inside of me. So it almost becomes self-afflicting that we're like a person who's cutting themselves and don't even know it and blaming everybody else because we cut ourselves. That's why I named this week, stop complaining and get your own, or get your own, own your own. The reason I want you to get that mentality, because at the end of the day, it's bothering you. And a lot of people don't realize it's like walking with some shoes on, your most comfortable shoes. But as you walk and you realize you got a rock in your shoe, and it's just a little pebble. And as you begin to walk further and further and further and further, what happens is it begins to what? Irritate you. But because these are your comfortable shoes, you refuse to take the rock out because you say, hey, I'm almost at my destination. But many of us need to stop, take that shoe off, shake the shoe off, make sure that pebble is out of there, because it's been bothering us. But what we'll do is we'll tell everybody, I got these comfortable shoes on, but it's something about this left foot that keep bothering me. I don't know what it is. Then you go and tell someone else, you know what, I got these comfortable shoes on. It's my favorite color, go with all my outfits, but it's still bothering me. It's because we never taken the time to take the shoe off and actually shake the pebble off and actually deal with what's bothering us. What in you that is paining you, that you are dealing with behind the curtain of your complaints? What is really bothering you that you self-indulge or you do things to drown out what's really bothering you? Who are you talking to that's telling you to keep that pebble in your shoe, that is going to be all right? Who is encouraging you to go to the next destination, but never take the shoe off and take the pebble out and deal with what's really bothering you that you've been complaining about? Many times the complaints about the opposite sex must always go back and look in the mirror. Let me say that again. Many times the complaints that men and women have about each other always calls for us to go back and look in the mirror and say, why am I projecting these thoughts on these particular people when I'm the one who made a choice to be with these particular people? What inside of me is irritating me about this situation that I need to complain about it? Who is soothing me, or who is telling me to actually deal with this? See, in this space, we got a lot of people who will soothe you and massage you, but they would never tell you to go in and self-examine yourself and look and say, hey, there's an issue inside of you that you need to deal with. This is where it goes from just hearing information to taking it to the next level. So all the complaining that we hear, I hear it. The women hear it this way. The men hear it this way. This going on over here. The job market is this way. And I'm going to tell you another side of it too. Many times we complain because we're afraid, or people are afraid of something new and their inability to handle what is new. So you complain about that you want better, but you don't want to take on the responsibility of better. Let me say that again. You will complain about better, but you don't want to take on the responsibility of better because you're afraid of it. You're afraid that you're going to look inadequate. You're afraid that if you take on the responsibility of something new, that you're not going to know what to do. Let's break it down a little bit further. You complain about women, but let me say this to the guys. You complain about women, but you don't want to take on the responsibility, what it means to be a man to a woman. Women can complain about men, but they don't want to take on the responsibility, what it takes to have a man. Let me say that again, because I think I'm about to give my own son some claps on that one. You complain about these ain't no good men out here. They all dogs. All they would is want to sleep around and do all this. But do you want to take on the responsibility of being that woman that a good man would want? Are you going to just stay in your cycle of complaining, and then you get a whole crew of people who are going to complain with you? Same thing with the men. You get a whole group of YouTube channels and Facebook groups and everything like that to find something so that you can complain about, because secretly you're afraid to go to the next level and actually do something that's going to make you better. That's the reality of it. No one wants to taking the step to do better, because they're afraid if they do better, they have used complaining as a crutch to make them feel better. Let me say that again. Many times we complain because we're afraid if we step out into something new, we have been using complaining as a crutch around us because it's been comfortable. There's been people who's been cheering us on our complaints. There's people who are ride or die with you with your complaints. There's people who would do anything they could to make sure that your complaints stay as a complaint. Because as the saying goes, misery loves company. But what happens when you step away from the people, the channels, the groups, the discussions that's been propped up to hold your complaints together, and actually step out there and do something about what you're complaining about? What happens when you step out there particularly as a man? What's going on, Kenosha? And actually do something about what you're complaining about. Many times I'm saying to the men first, because you have a foundation, we got all these complaints about everything, but secretly you sleep at night. Appreciate that, Joe Blas. But secretly, what the real issue is, you're using complaints. You using channels, different YouTube channels, Instagram and all like that, different posts and everything to masquerade yourself or to insulate yourself, because you are afraid to admit that the real issue that's going on, you're afraid to own anything. You're afraid to own your own destiny. You're afraid of your own power. You're afraid that if you own something, I hear it in this ear, you own something, that you may mess it up. You're afraid if you take responsibility, or if you own a particular stake in anything, that if you get it, someone's going to take it away from you. You're afraid if you really step into your masculinity as a man, that someone's going to pull the rug out from under you, or that the shoe's going to drop. Same thing with women. If you step into your full femininity, if you really step into that, what's going to happen is some man is going to take advantage of you. So the fear of owning who you are, owning some property, owning your destiny, owning where you live, becomes now a jail cell to you, because you refuse to embrace the fullness of it. See, people don't want to talk about this, but the real deal is, it's safer to be able to complain than it is become a risk factor to actually own who you are, own your destiny, and really take back your power. That's the real deal. It's a fear that men and women have to say, if I really take back my power, would I misuse it? Will it be taken away from me? Will people be, what would happen if this happens to me or that happened to me? Most people, why I say own, you must own your own, is because most people are afraid of their own God-given innate power that they have. So complaining becomes the bed that they lay in and that they choose to relax in, instead of getting out of the bed and owning the power that you have on the inside of you to make every change in your life. Some of you are afraid of your power. You're afraid to own who you are. You're afraid to really embrace the value that you are first. I'm talking to the men as a man. You're really afraid to embrace the power that you have as a woman. The world is trying to play switcheroo with some of y'all and say, and you need to embrace this or you need to embrace that. No, I'm talking about embracing the natural innate power that you have on the inside of you. Have to have confidence in ourselves, but don't fear, right? So I want you to get this. So complaining, you'll find I can lay down a whole bunch of channels that can tell you about complaining about women. I can give you a whole bunch of channels who truly complain about men. I can give you a whole bunch of channels that complain about the market. I can tell you a whole bunch of channels that complain about crypto. I'm gonna tell you a whole bunch of channels that complaining about what's going on in Russia, what's going on in Ukraine. Let's tell them about this. It's a good thing to be informed, but it's another thing when you are captivated or you are held at attention by fear and you allow complaining to be the place that you lay your head at. Most people, why they don't want to own anything, because they are afraid. They are afraid to take it to the next level. They're afraid to say, this is mine. They are afraid because they had some failures in the past. This is the real reason why. So complaining becomes easier than actually complaining feels better than actually embracing the failures that you did have. Complaining feels so much better. You feel so good. You're able to complain and vent and tell them, and yes, this did this, and all this feels so good. I can't believe it. These people are just, it's so good at complaining. But the reality of it is, when you really step out there and get what I'm really saying, when you begin to own who you are, when you begin to embrace the power that you have inside of you, when you begin to own your name, own who you are, your complaining should come to an end, because you realize that complaining is just a choice. You realize if you're complaining about a particular individual and what they're doing and what they ain't doing, it is your choice to deal with them or to not deal with them. When you realize that you have to, what's going on, Fear? So good to see you. You realize that it is your choice. I understand complaining. I understand. I've done it. I complain about people. I complain about this, and this ain't going right, and this ain't right. The white man trying to hold the black man down, and the white man trying to take this, and this one holding this one, and this girl ain't nothing but a Susie Q. She ain't nothing but a 3 or 4. These women ain't nothing but tricks, and these women ain't. Once you get into the cycle of constantly complaining, you're giving your power away to what you're complaining about. You're giving your power away to what you are complaining about. Those who really know who they are and embrace the uniqueness of who they are, the value of who they are, they know they have a choice to say, you know what, not today. I'm not giving my power to complaining. I am not giving that mental energy, spiritual energy, and most of all, my verbal energy to something that some things I cannot even change. Some people are just going to be who they are. Some people are just plain, you know what, son of a guns. Why give my energy away to people? Y'all need to really get this. Why complain and give my energy to people who do not want to change? I wish I would get this on YouTube, especially. Why give your energy away to people who do not want to change? They want to stay the same. They want to cry and moan. They want to lay down and sleep with whoever they want to sleep with. Why give your energy? Why complain about it? Why give your energy away to someone, some situation that they ain't gonna change? Sometimes we think by complaining about a particular individual or then a particular situation that it's going to change the situation. Let me help you out. It ain't going to change it. It ain't going to change it. Stop giving your power away to people, situations, and complaining about it. And it ain't going to do a doggone thing about it. They're going to stay the rap. They're going to stay themselves. I will give the secret on how to change the situation and even change them. We got to see about that. But stop giving yourself away. I know I see the brothers on here complaining about the weaves, and then you complaining about the sandals. You can complaining about the women ain't doing this. They ain't submissive. I hear the complaints. These women ain't submissive. These women, they just doing this. The women doing that. The women doing this. The women doing this. I hear it all. I watch the videos. I see it like, you see what she did. You see what Carly B did. You see what this woman did. You see, I told you. Then you want to complain about Nia Long. Then you want to complain about the coach. Then you want to complain about this. Everything is to confirm your complaint that you already have. I see the complaints that men are having, and I'm not saying that we don't need to address it, but I'm not saying that we do not need to address it, but it doesn't need to be our address. Let me say that again. I'm not saying that we don't need to address the situation, but it doesn't need to be your permanent address. Let me say it again. Okay, the women don't want to submit. What are you going to do about it? You have a choice whether you're going to deal with them or not. Okay, the men and dogs that keep sleeping around and all that, what are you going to do about it? You can find anything on this internet about who will confirm your complaints. But what are you going to do about it? I'm trying to give you the master key. The master key is this: it's a choice. I can tell you that there's some Pookie and Ray Rays everywhere. I can tell you there's some Kikikas and some Rakas and all. There's some all different. There's everything all around there. But you have a choice whether you're going to deal with it or not. I'm up to here of the complaints. We have turned into a complaint society who don't want to do anything but complain. Complaint. Then we report on other people's complaints. Please, in the words of Papa, don't get mad, just leave, cut it loose. You can complain all you want. It ain't gonna change those people. And what you constantly focus on, guess what's going to happen? We talked about this. If you constantly focus on the complaints and say for the men, what the women ain't doing, they ain't submissive, they ain't doing this, they ain't cooking, they ain't doing that. What's going to happen is you're going to constantly attract and deal with women who are like that. Instead of getting off of your complaining asphalt and actually do something about it, whether you deal with those women or not. I think most of the times, most of the complaints that people have, and y'all may not agree with it, and I'm gonna say it. It is what it is. Since let me cut through the chase. Most of the complaints people have is really their fault because they chose to deal with some of these people. I have the interesting ability to hang up quickly. I have the most powerful thing to do is for me to cut you off, not deal with you. The most powerful thing I have to do is to not communicate with you. I do not have to deal with you. I don't have to complain about you. I have that ability. I have that magical ability to stop. You know what? Bye. Oh, it was good. No, but before they can even say, have a good, I already hung up. You got to take back your power and stop complaining and own who you are. Own your right to choose. Own your right to say, you know what? I really don't have to deal with your sugar honey iced tea. I really don't. I really don't even want to hear your complaints. Because I'm telling you, let me give a warning to the guys. If you become her complaint center, I don't know, Joe Blast, I mean, you want me to tell this? When you become her complaint center,
execute Order 66.
When you think that you're going to finesse a woman by listening to all her complaints about what men ain't do this and what this man do that and what this man say this, when you become a woman's complaint center, that's a beautiful thing to learn and appreciate that you're going to get to stay. Let me say this, teach. Let me say this. When you become the women that tell you, when you become her complaint center, where she can call you, and guess what happened? He did this again to me. He left me again. He did that again. Oh my God. I don't know why I keep going back to him. When you become that woman's complaint center, brothers, don't think, because somebody's going to have to tell you, when you become her complaint center, don't think you're going to go finesse your way into her kitty cat. Some guys, they think they trying to be slick by being the woman's therapist and complaint center. They're trying to listen to all the complaints so that I can know what I need to do, so I can get with her because I hear the complaints of what he ain't. You trying to be like Joe. I'm gonna do all the things that your man didn't do. Let me tell you something. That woman will make you a wet piece of toilet paper and give you all the complaints and never deal with you. Y'all better stop listening to them R&B songs. They get you all jacked up. She will never, ever. She will like, oh, I can call him because he's going to listen to me and I'm going to listen. And then she'll go back and go deal with the dude that was messing her around. She will go back and deal with the dude who she was messing around with, and while you on the other line trying to finesse and be Mr. Therapist and listen to all her complaints, and she go back and go deal with that guy again. Stop thinking you're trying to finesse yourself into somebody's complaints about what the other person ain't doing. It don't work like that. It don't. I promise you. In the book of GAME, gang, it does not. Don't you do what Joe told you. I'm gonna do all the things that he didn't do. That means you have to. You're listening to what Joe told. I'm gonna do all the things. You're gonna do all those things. That means at some level you have to be listening to her to know what all the things that he didn't do. That means you were listening to the complaints that she had about this particular dude. Dude, she don't like you all like that. All she going to do is put you as Mr. I can call right now. I can call him right now and he's going to hear me. I promise you, stay away. If she goes not as thou wouldst have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. Y'all better catch what I'm saying to you. And same for you ladies. Don't be going out there listen, you know, that girl, she did me wrong and this and that. He'll go right back to that woman that he's been complaining about, that he said he didn't like and that he said did him wrong, who took all his money and did all these things to her. And he'll go back and all she got to do is say one nice thing to that man and he's back there googly eye. All she has to do is say, I was sorry, baby. Won't you come back? I don't know I was tripping. I was going through a lot. Once you come back, you're so strong. I need you. I wish she was here. And he'll go back to the very woman that he was complaining to you about, sister, and lay back under her because it's a place of comfort in the complaints. Let me say that again. That man will come to you, sister, and talk your ear off about that. Oh yeah, these women, man, and she did me wrong. She took this, she did this to me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And she did this, and I tried to give her money. I bought her a car. I did everything for her. He almost crying on the other line. And you think, lady, that you're gonna be his therapist, you're gonna be his saving grace, you're gonna try to fix a man. You're going to get your tools out because I'm a woman and I can fix a man. I can put them together back again, put them back together again, and not realizing it takes that woman that he's complaining about 2.10 seconds to text him back and say, I miss you, boo. Or send him a nice little picture, send him a nice little text, and he's skipping down the road with his nose wide open, going back to where he was. If I'm lying, I'm flying. All she got to do is text him. I was just thinking about you. I made your favorite dish, boo. While you didn't spend all your time trying to fix a boo, he done left and went back to his old boo that he was complaining about. I'm telling you, at the end of the day, cut the complaints. Do not be the complaint center for anybody. Cut it. I'm trying to see. Most people say he don't talk to the women. I just gave women just game right there. So what he'll try to do, he'll try to get you and her at the same time. He'll try to mix match. He'll tell you all the complaints about what she didn't do so that you feel sorry. And now you in your feelings. He try to get you on your feelings. Oh, she did that. Oh, I never do that to you. I'll cook for you. I rub your feet. Now you ain't got all in your feelings. And while he tiptoeing with you, he tiptoeing back over to the old boo that he was complaining about. Man, y'all don't want to hear this game. Now you got to be talking game. You don't want to hear this. You don't want to hear it. Why are you saying that to the way you telling the ladies all this game, LDA? Because it's the truth. It's the truth. Now he laid up with both of y'all. And then you come back here, these men are dogs. These men are, I don't know why they tricked me. They try to finesse me. No, you did not pay attention to the game that was being ran, the wrong game that was being ran on you. And he didn't give you a sack full of complaints about the other woman and not tell you and got you all in your feelings, and you telling your other girlfriends, oh my God, he's right. Oh my God, you right. Oh, he did what, girl? Yeah, that girl did that to him. Look at him. He looked desolate. He looked like somebody beat him up, not realizing that you didn't got a gang ran on you. I promise you, and if any man would be honest in this chat room, all it takes for that one woman that he's been complaining about to send him a text and say, I miss you, or I'm thinking about you, or come over here, I made your favorite dish. That dude is gone. He's done. He's out of here. It's like playing baseball. Yeah, out. That's why it's so important to realize about complaints. Something on the inside of you is not being dealt with. That's your needs are. Thanks, Fear Soul. Thanks for keeping it 100. Thank you. Shout out to Fear Soul, man. That's my dog. Kept it in 100. Kept it in 100. He just keep it in 100. Right. I promise you. I promise you, y'all missed this. But I'm keep seeing, like I said at the beginning of this, anytime there's constant complaining, it's never on the outside. It's something on the inside that is not being dealt with. Somewhere you are unsatisfied in yourself. All that person is doing is revealing in you with their idiotic behavior that you are not satisfied in yourself, because nobody on the outside can really disturb your peace, unless you allow yourself to be disturbed. But let's keep it 100. Just keep it 1,000. Just keep it where it is. Y'all listen to that, Joe. You can ladies, you can listen. You can be the cleanup woman all you want to be. You're going to be cleaning up after a whole lot, just like having a little puppy. It pees everywhere. And some of you women don't even realize it. If you ain't paying attention, you are the cleanup woman. You don't know what it is, go listen to the song. It's from the 70s. You the cleanup woman. And you will never, and you can't get mad because you are the cleanup woman. And now you want to get a YouTube channel and talk about, I don't know why these men are like this. I don't know why these men, because you don't know who you are, and you become the cleanup woman. And guess what happened to you? Every dirty man comes down your path. Every man with issues, situations come down your path because you don't even know it, sister, that you have the sign on you that you are the cleanup woman. Men can spot you a mile away. Oh, there's the cleanup woman. Let me get my speech together. You become the cleanup woman. You become the place where he lay his complaints at, and not where he pours inside of you. The same thing for men. She can spot you a mile away. Oh, he just bought me a drink. Buy me a drink. You at the bar, you buying a drink. You at the dinner, you starting, you doing this. She can spot you a mile away, brother. She see who you are. Oh, I can tell him all my issues. He can listen to me. You become the listening ear of her complaints. You become the listening ear. All everything. You know, they did that. And I was watching Dave Chappelle yesterday, and it was funny. He was he was doing a skit when he was on a date. And you know, when people talk over on the awards, they put the music on. So when he had a portable music box, when the lady was talking about her situations, he put the music on and said, wrap it up. Some of you don't realize that you have become let me talk to these men. You have become the complaint center for a lot of women. Don't do it. Own your space, your time, and what you do. Own your own. What happens is, let me give you this part of it. What you complain about, it actually sticks to you. Let me say that again. What you constantly complain about and moan about, it actually sticks to you. While you complaining about it, it's like glue, gorilla glue. It sticks to you and it never lets you go until you decide to say, no. That's why I'm telling you to own your own. That speaks toxicity to me. Fooling around trying to be route trash rats with this sensitivity crap and end up slammed into the friend zone. I keep telling you, baby. We as people got to do better, right? And the better is the solution I just gave is when you own. Thank you. I couldn't even get it out my mouth. He beat me to it. Shout out to you, brother. Own your own sugar, honey, iced tea. This is a solution. Take your power back. Own your space. Own your ears. Own your time. Own who comes around you, who speaks around you, who's complaining about you, who's always, and it's one thing to listen to my vent, but when the venting becomes 3 months in, when it becomes 2 months in, like, hey, bruh, wake up. What you going to do about it? You going to complain about it, or you going to do something about it? See, it's one thing. Y'all got to understand, you got to dissect when something is just venting and when something when it becomes to complaining. Because in venting, you would say, okay, I'm expressing what's going on. But when it becomes into the complaint center, that's when you got to be like, hey, bruh, when you going when are you going to own your own? When are you going to take responsibility from this? Anybody can complain, but owning your own is another thing. I want you to really think about it. Where are you stuck at that you're in a place of complaining? Many times people are complaining because they want somebody to save their. Many times people are complaining is because they want somebody to save them. They want somebody to save them, and they want somebody to feel sorry for them. Yes, sir, was guilty of that myself. Had to understand and learn to clean it up and keep it going. Let me say that again. Many times why people are complaining is they want someone to save them, and they want someone to feel sorry for them. They want somebody to feel sorry for them. You want somebody to come into agreement. You want somebody to come into agreement with what you are complaining about. You want them to be like, oh, really? I can't believe they did that. Oh my God. Real? That did happen? Oh, my. Bruh, I wouldn't have went through that with you, man. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yep. Ain't no one was born with a cape on. You got that right, Yahoo. They want somebody to come and save them and to say, oh, and the reality of it is you see somebody in the place of complaining, when they're complaining about the women on these YouTube streets, when they're complaining about the women on these YouTube streets, Instagram streets, and everything that's going on, mainly the main issue is they have not made a choice and they have not embraced the power of making a choice. They don't know who they are. They don't realize that at the end of the day, if we were to real be honest about it, that they are God. They don't know who they are. They don't realize that they are God. So it's easier to complain. Watch. I dare you to go look into some YouTube channels, look into some Instagram posts, listen to some this and that. You realize that the real issue is they don't want to take responsibility. People out there for all that is called laziness. Yeah. Some don't even want to be saved. Can you give the best? You can give the best advice and they still run and tell others the same story. They are comfortable just complaining. Thank you so much. All of y'all. Thank you. Very true. They have used the complaining has become a snuggle bag for them. It's so comfortable. It's so comfortable. I can give all the solutions on how to move to the next level, but your complaining is what you're going to embrace. Now, you said a key word in there, Joe Blast, and I'm going to make sure I get, and I'm going to cut this off in a second. What story are you telling everybody out there? What story are you really putting out there? Because somehow you always are the actor, the props, and the director of the story that you keep playing out there. Have you noticed that let's break it down a little bit further. If you're complaining that you keep dealing with women who don't treat you well, who don't respect you, you realize that this is a story that you're telling and that you are the actor, the director, you are the talent scout in all of this. If you realize you're complaining about all the men out there and that what they ain't doing and how they ain't doing this, you realize that you are the talent scout, that you are the director, that you're the actress or actress in all of this. Do you realize that you are creating that story that you deciding to be in? You are the one getting every year the Oscar for the story that you keep playing over and over again. Do you realize that you are getting the best motion picture for the story that you're putting out there? So you realize that what you're complaining about is a story. And the story that you keep telling, you don't realize you're telling it from a person, not from a person away from it, but from a person who is in it. And the story that you keep telling while you're getting your hair done, while you're getting your hair cut, while you're getting your beard trimmed up, don't you realize that you are the one that's constantly the creator of that story? Don't you realize that every time you say, well, I'm going to get a new man this time, do you realize that the story that you're playing, the complaints that you're constantly playing, is going to attract a different face with a different name with the same issues? And you wonder why, how do I get out of this? What do I need to do? You need to tell a different story. You need to tell a different story. Do you realize that by telling a different story, by changing your perception of it, by looking at life differently from a place of empowerment and not a place of complaining, you change the narrative and you change the story. You need to learn to rewrite what you want to see in your life, who you want to be in your life, who shows up in your life, how you deal with it in your life. You need to rewrite the story. Have you noticed that everything that you're complaining about is a story? You got to tell what this person did and what they did not do. It is a story. And the story that you keep sharing and sharing over and over again becomes your world. And every time you might exit this person out of your world, but you keep telling the same story. So a new face comes in. You might got rid of Betty, and now you got Betty out of your life, and then you bring in Brenda. Brenda automatically fits your story that you had about Betty, and now what's happened is Brenda actually fulfills the role of Betty because you never changed the story. When are you going to change the story about your life? When are you going to stop complaining and realize that you are the director? You are the actress or actor. You are the talent scout. Who does the people? Who's going to read who's going to read the lines inside of your life? You are the one who listen to them and say, "Wow, you know what? Wait a minute. Read that line again." And he reads it just like Brenda did or like Betty did. And then you give the role to them in your life as the same person. So now you got part 1 and part 2 because you keep giving the same story through your complaints. And they have no other choice but to fall in line and do everything which you thought you were complaining about, but the other person they end up doing. Damn long, how long? Right. Thank you. You're welcome. You wondering why. You say, I'm gonna get this new man, he gonna do this. Oh my God. He's fine. He's fine as wine. And as soon as he comes, he fits into the story that you've been complaining about. He don't know why he ain't doing what he used to do. He don't know why he's like this. It's because you gave him a script for him to fulfill, and he's fulfilling it to the best of his ability because of the story that you're complaining about or what you used to complaining about, and they're fulfilling it to the best of their ability. Same thing for men. You keep complaining about these type of women. They ain't submitting. They ain't doing this, and they ain't doing that. They ain't nothing but 3 or 4s. It's because you keep giving the same script to them. And sometimes what you got to realize, wait a minute, let me stop my complaining. Let me see, who am I? Who's my casting director here? Who's my casting director? Who's my casting director? Why do I keep casting the same people for the same role, and I'm disappointed with their performance? Because you are the casting director. You are the talent scout. You are the person who's picking these people in your life. If you go to another, you got to realize some people can read the script, but they are not read. They're not supposed to be in your production. Some people can read the script. They know what to say. I love you. I give you flowers. I'll show up on time. I'll pick you up. I'll text you in the morning. They can read the script, but they do not fit the role that they should be in your life. Sometimes the reason why you're complaining is you like someone we talked about this week. We talked to them this week. They don't know. They don't have a good picker. They don't know how to. They're not a good cast director. They don't know how to be a good talent scout. They get people to read the lines, so they didn't realize that this person is not the talent that needs to be in their life. They're not the right talent that should be in your life. In a football team, they go and they have them run through scrimmages. Why? So they can see who is supposed to be a part of this team. Sometimes, let me say this to the men, so I can expand it out. So y'all can't get mad at the passport brothers. They're realizing that the script that they have, the women that they're looking for, does not fit into the script that they have. Vice versa. It is all because of you. So you don't give the power away to what's going around you. You realize that you are the ultimate choice of who shows up. Let me read these comments because it's so good. Promise you. Let me read this. Sad way of living. Quicker leaps to death than just saying it. Right. Not everyone was meant to be in your movie. I wish people would get that. People be reading the wrong script. They be reading the wrong script. Many keep talking about they don't want to be alone, same time not changing anything. Right. They don't realize that the script, that the story that they have is what? That they're going to be alone. So they keep so they'll say, I don't want to be alone. But the script that they have, they'll bring in somebody, and because of the script that they have that says I'm alone, the person to show up and read their parts and say, wait a minute, in the script, it looks like you want to be alone. Let me exit your life. How can you complain about that when you are the person writing the script? Don't you come over here and blame it on God either. It's God's fault. Jesus did this to me. Buddha, Allah, whatever. It is you. It's you. Don't you blame it on the devil either. It's you who keeps choosing these people to show up in your life with this script. It is you that's having them read the line. She might be fine with a big behind. But if she is not the right talent for what you're looking for your script, don't you start complaining about it. It's you. It is you. He may be tall, dark-skinned, and handsome, whatever you like, and sisters. But if he ain't reading the right script, why are you complaining? You need to look at you. That you need to get the casting director, the talent agent. You need to get the person reading. You need to get all y'all together, which is you, and say, what is my problem? And stop complaining. Stop complaining that this movie that you created called your life is not going anywhere. Could it be, since we got this good analogy from, my sound went out? My sound shit went out. Should be able to hear me. I'm looking at the levels. Just make sure my sound is there. Sound is there, yep. Could it be that the real issue is my sound is gone? Let me know if you can hear me. Put the number 1 in the chat room. You can hear me. I see my everything should be on. Put in 1 in the chat room. You can hear me because I got this one. I forgot. I'm good. Could it be? Thank you. Could it be that the real issue is you like the drama. You like something to complain about. Could it be that the real issue is, and ain't out there, is that you secretly like the drama and you want something to complain about? So you cast people in your life you know that you're going to complain about. You may not do it consciously. You may be doing it subconsciously and don't even know it. So you keep casting people that you know who are going to be mess ups, who are not going to read their lines together right, who are not going to show up at their parts correctly, so that you feel you have something now to complain about. Could it be that the real issue is that you keep casting people for your own drama and you blame it on God? You blame it on the devil. The devil like, what? Man, what? I ain't even do that. The devil like, why you blaming me, man? I ain't even do that. God is like, bruh, they looking at you like, didn't you choose? Didn't the Bible say, choose you this day who you will serve? And you blaming everybody else for all your complaints and not realize that you are the casting director. You are the one choosing for these people to be in your life. And you're blaming everything else out there and not realizing that many of you, men too, because I'm going to talk to you brothers, have a fine taste for drama in your life because it turns you on, so that you have something to complain about. So you become the person that does all that. Man, found out this summer people that truly love drama, that is unreal. Yeah, some people really love drama. That's a very good one. Like the trolls that keeps popping up, accusing everybody except the one in their mirror. Y'all better say, I'm trying to help you. You're on the money, LD. I appreciate that. Could it be that many of you, what you're complaining about, you really like? Could it be? And I know I got 2 minutes. Could it be what you are complaining about, you secretly like? Let me say it another way, because some people ain't gonna get it unless I say it this way. You secretly complaining about you don't like big girls. I wish the women would lose weight and this and that. Secretly, you like big girls. You like BBWs. But you tell everybody else, man, I don't wish these girls, they need to be fit, swimming, this and this. But secretly, you know you get off on women who are plus size. Ain't nothing wrong with it. If you like it, I'm with it. But don't be complaining about something that you secretly like. Don't be complaining about something that you secretly like, that you secretly get off on. Many times the difference between a complaint and a compliment is perception. Many times the difference between a complaint and a compliment is perception. Many times the difference between a complaint and a compliment is simply perception. how you seeing it, and what you really like. Many times you complain about something that's bothering you, but you really complain about something that you really, 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 that you really like because you can't get it. Toxicity, please, is where the land, yes, is where they land. Yes, yes, secretly what they, yeah. I promise you. Some of y'all, the complaints that you have about, I'm talking to these brothers, some of the women, these is what you really, 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 you really like. But you're afraid to admit that you really like that. So you complain about it. It's like a little kid at school when they like each other. They don't know how to express to them. They don't know how to express to the, to the girl. Being petty, I'm guilty of it. Just let me tell you like this. It's like when you're in school and you in elementary school and you like this girl, so you start hitting on her, and you start pulling her hair. Ooh, I don't like you, and secretly you want to write a note. Do you like me? Yes or no? Mark it. Mark yes or mark this. You really like her, but what you do is your way of trying to get her attention is by telling her that you don't really like her. Could it be that the things that you really don't like and you complaining about is something that you really like and that you really enjoy? It is your guilty pleasure. They don't have to tell others when they see it plays out in real life. So I want you to get that. It's something that you secretly like, something that turns you on. But because, yeah, you like, yeah. Look at this. One of the 48 laws of power, showing disdain for something you actually want. Right there, bam, in your face. One of the laws of the 48 powers, showing disdain for something you actually want. Many times what you're complaining about is what you secretly want. So while these guys are complaining about what these women ain't doing and what they should be doing, and what is secretly they want a woman who's difficult. Secretly, they want a woman who is who doesn't submit to them, who doesn't do what they want, because they want that. What does he say? Showing disdain for something you actually want. You actually want that. You actually desire that. You don't want a good woman. You don't want a good man. You are being conditioned and socialized to want something that's difficult. You've been conditioned to say, this feels good. I'm going to disdain it, but I secretly want it. It's like saying, I don't want no pie. I don't want this pie. This pie is bad for you. And then you get up in the middle of the night and you begin to get you a slice of that pie. I don't want these women bad. I don't want them. I'm gonna do. And secretly inside you want. It's the same thing with the women complaining about the guys going with the passport brothers going to other countries. These men, they shouldn't be going to the other country. They're talk bad about the men leaving for other countries. But secretly, on the real deal, they really want the men who are leaving for other countries because they realize they lost something that they once had. But I'm going too far now. Well, we'll pack all this ace up, sending all the address down. Woo! Oh yeah, it's one of my first things to come up against as you deprogram and do the work. Correct. I promise you. And y'all got me passed on 2 on 4. So let me say this. Let me close it up. Let me wrap it up. What inside of you that you say you disdain, that you secretly want? Where are you dissatisfied in that you have to complain about it? Could it be that your needs are not really being met? And so you complain as a way to try to get them met. Take back your power. look in the mirror and say, what in me am I complaining about and I'm not happy about, that I've given my power away and not took charge of my life and say, this is the direction I need to go in. I challenge you today as the thinking class to not only just think, but to apply action to this and realize, as the Joe Blast has eloquently put it inside of the chat room, from the 48 laws of power, showing disdain for something you really want. Some of you really want some things that you're complaining about. That's why they call in to different, shout out to Lucario and Miles. They call in there complaining to Lucario and the Miles and Steve the Dean about the particular woman that they do now, that they're complaining about. But secretly, they want those women. Ain't no hope for you, bro. LBA.
Execute Order 66.